We took it all. We brought them to our land. An endless night, ember hot and icy cold. The rage of the earth. We made this curse. Carved it in the blood on our backs. We did not see. We could not, but she did. And in the end...
What will I become?
Senua's Saga. Hellblade 2.
Play it now with Game Pass.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a walk-off grand slam or a base hit to center field. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Virginia. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. See for yourself when you sign up today and get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Virginia. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello and welcome to the second of our men's T20 World Cup podcasts. Today we are focusing on one of the co-hosts, United States, and their high-order batter, Andries Gous. South African-born Andries reveals his cricketing background, his move to cricket's last frontier, and the exciting prospect of playing against the all-conquering Indian side in New York. Andries also adds his thoughts on Major League Cricket, which transformed the T20 cricketing landscape last summer. Welcome back to the paddock and the pavilion, Andries.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Well, a lot's happened since I last spoke to you back in episode 207 when we talked about Major League Cricket. And since then, you've played in Major League Cricket and you've also been selected to play for the United States. And now you're getting ready for a T20 World Cup. Is there now a big sense of anticipation about the World Cup in the United States?
Yeah, I think the cricket circles are still... as the United States is so big, the cricket circles are still it's still small, but I think there's a lot of excitement in the cricketing community, if I can say it like that, which is actually bigger than most countries' cricketing communities. But yeah, I think all the tickets in the USA have been sold out. So I think the anticipation and excitement levels for this World Cup is pretty high.
Well, thanks for that. We're going to talk about the World Cup. But to start with, for listeners, I just wanted to get a bit of detail about your background. I do know some of this myself, but you're born in South Africa in the Free State in 1993. How did cricket start for you?
Yeah, I just think when I was little, I just liked everything that involved a ball, whether it's a rugby ball, a cricket ball, a soccer ball. It didn't really matter, tennis ball. I just liked playing with a ball. So growing up, I played all the sports that involved a ball, played some hockey, played rugby, played cricket, a little bit of tennis when I was younger. So that is it's just everything that involved the ball. And then cricket was just the one that was always my favorite. And I started probably getting some lessons and everything when I was 5 or 6. So that was just always the big love for me. But yeah, anything that involved a ball, basically, that was my favorite thing to do when I was little.
A typical South African then?
Typical South African, yeah.
You made your first-class debut in 2012 for the Free State. And I noticed in that game that Devon Conway was playing against you.
Yeah, last year at the Major League, we actually spoke about it. I said to him, remember, I'm not sure if you can remember this, but many years ago, I made my first class debut and we played against each other. I think he still played for KZN at England. And then I played a few times against him when he played for another team in South Africa. Then we played against each other when he played for Texas and when he played for New Zealand. So that's quite cool for him to see his story has also evolved like that.
You played 60 first-class games, average 41, 57 List A games and averaging nearly 38. And your last first-class match was in November 2020. You also played 2 ODIs and 2 tests for the South African under-19s.
Yeah.
That was playing alongside Rabada and Beddingham as well.
Yeah, I think that's the two that's probably the standout guys that played for South Africa. Clyde Fontaine also, who made his Test debut the other day against New Zealand. He played in that series as well. Trying to think who else was there. I can't even remember that team.
It's a long while ago.
But it's a long while ago. But yeah, played us with the two big names, definitely Rabada and Beddingham, and then we played against all the likes of Duckett and Ollie Stone. So that's probably the two. Sibley played. I remember that's probably the 3 big ones that played in that series against us.
You played your last first-class game in 2020. When and why did you then decide to move across to the United States?
Yeah, so I got the call from Major League Cricket in probably in the winter of 2020, asking if I'm willing to relocate to the US and start this journey with them and start helping building cricket in the USA. And first I said no a few times, and then eventually it came where I said yes. So yeah, that was also during COVID time, so we didn't play a lot of cricket in South Africa as well. So yeah, I just thought it's a good move for me and my family. Especially at that stage, I had a young boy where I just felt there was not really a big future for him in South Africa, where in the United States there's a massive future for him. So yeah, it was probably a couple of decisions that was made, but one a cricket decision, and then secondly a big family decision for us.
You don't regret moving now?
No, that's the one thing that I've not once regretted moving to the US so far. So which is good. It tells me it was always the right decision.
Just going back on your cricket, I just did notice that you also played in the Leicestershire Premier League and the Lancashire League. Any clubs you want to give a shout out to who you played with in the UK?
Yes, I played with East Lancs in the Lancashire League. Unbelievable people. What a great club that is. And then in Leicester, I played with Selby Town Cricket Club, which is also, again, unbelievable group of guys. Yeah, and I wish them all the best for this season.
You were quite young then?
Yeah, the first time I went to England, I was really young, I was 21, 22. And then 2019 was my last year that I went to Leicester.
Well, let's move on to the World Cup. And you've just been playing 5 T20 matches against Canada, and you played 3 of those matches. How did it come about you making your international debut?
Yeah, so obviously you have to reach that eligibility stage of 3 years or in the US. So eventually that time has passed. So I was eligible to play for them. And then we got selected, and yeah, it's just luckily there was a good series against Canada for us to. There was a couple of us that just reached that eligibility stage, so there was a couple of us that made our debuts. Yeah, it was a good series for the USA.
Yeah, you won the series 5-0?
Yeah, 4-0. One was washed out.
And you made an amazing start, scoring 50 and out, because you were out the next ball, I think. 5 4s and 3 60s on your debut.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was just good to probably get a debut like that. It's always nice to score runs, especially on your debut as well. So yeah, no regrets there.
And then game 2, you got 57 as well off 35 balls.
Yeah. That was also nice. No, it was just good cricket we've played. I think our openers they gave us good momentum, and then I just tried to carry on with that.
And Canada are going to be your first opponents in the World Cup.
Yeah, that's very exciting. I think we know each other quite well now. Some of them actually they do play a lot in the USA as well in tournaments and stuff. So we do know each other quite well, but I think their team might change a little bit from what they've played against us. So obviously we're starting from that series, that doesn't matter anymore. The only thing that matters now is that first game. So we just got to make sure we come out of top at that game again.
And you've got a new coach, Stuart Law.
Yeah, very exciting. He's already made a massive impact in the USA community. Really good coach. Really exciting to work with him. His knowledge he's got so much knowledge. I'm not sure. I think 300 plus first class games, if it's not more. Got a truck full of runs. I spoke to him the other day. I was like, you've got, I'm not sure how many hundreds he's got, but it was incredible. I've never heard anyone score that many hundreds in first class cricket. So he was obviously an unbelievable cricketer as well. So it's just good to have someone with that knowledge on board of USA Cricket and to help us guide through this World Cup.
Have you met him up as a group yet?
Yeah. So he was part of the Canadian series as well. And now he was part of the Canada series, and then we're starting a camp today as well. So just for a few days, and then we'll go. Each will go their own way, and then we'll probably meet up a week before the Bangladesh series, which starts on the 20th.
Because Stuart Law, as you said, I looked up. He scored 27,000 first-class runs at an average of 50, and he's been a head coach at Bangladesh and the West Indies.
I think he was coach at Sri Lanka as well during that 2011 World Cup. So he's just been part of a group of people that's been highlighted out as probably the best cricket players in the world. So it's just the knowledge that he's had is just so much.
What's the makeup of your team? Is it experience and youth?
I think now that there's a couple of us that came in, so the World Cup squad will probably be announced in the next few days. So I'm not really sure if there's going to be changes from the Canadian series. Maybe one or two, I'm not sure. I think Ali Khan, that was injured, will probably come in. Who's a massive bowler for us. He's done well all over the world in franchise competition, so he's really important for us, and that will strengthen our bowling attack a lot. So I'm not really sure about the amount of changes, but I think with all of us that qualifies, we're all about 30 years old, 29, 31. So it's actually a good age for people to play, and they've played a lot of cricket so far. There's not a lot of young guys in the team, so all the guys that's playing is quite experienced in either playing for the USA or like us, it's played a lot of first class cricket or T20 cricket and franchise cricket all over the world.
So have you got several other players? I know you've got Corey Anderson, the New Zealand Test and One Day international player, now playing for United States. Yeah,
so he's also playing. We've got a few guys that played in India, a lot of first class cricket. Some has played IPL. So yeah, it's a pretty diverse team, and there's a lot of experience in that as well.
But your skipper and Stephen Taylor, they're both American.
Yeah, so they both. So Monank was born in India, and I think I'm not sure if he was born in India or not, but he lived in India his whole life and came when he was 19 or 20. And Stephen Taylor is one that's born here and lived here all his life.
So how do you respond when people say that the American team is full of people that are not American?
I mean, if you look at America, it's probably the most diverse country in the world. It's where people want to come for opportunity. So yeah, it's. I think if you look at all the associate teams, there's a lot of diversity in there. So yeah, I don't know really what to tell them, but I think all the associate teams are pretty much a very diverse team with a lot of Southeast Asians and some South Africans and people like that.
We took it all. We brought them to our land. An endless night, ember hot and icy cold. The rage of the earth. We made this curse. Carved it in the blood on our backs. We did not see. We could not, but she did. And in the end...
What will I become? Senua's Saga. Hellblade 2.
Play it now with Game Pass.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. See for yourself when you sign up today and get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Virginia. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a walk-off grand slam or a base hit to center field. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Virginia. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Moving on to the World Cup, you're in a group then with Canada, Pakistan, India and Ireland. What are your hopes for the competition? Are you targeting the games against Canada and Ireland?
Yeah, that would be nice if we can get those two wins, and then obviously you never know what can happen against the other two. I think it's just what an experience to play against those two big teams. Again, Ireland as well. They are unbelievable cricketing team. They've shown in the past that they can beat any team at any stage. So they're also a very dangerous team. And Canada as well, they probably didn't play as well as they would have liked against us, but they've been playing well in the 50 over ODIs now in the last few months. So they will come back stronger. So I think we've got a lot of hard work coming up for this 4 games.
And anything can happen in a T20 game.
Yeah, you never know. We're playing in Dallas, so some of us have played a lot in Dallas. So we know the field quite well. And then I think we're playing in Fort Lauderdale against Ireland, where we've played a lot of cricket. So we know that field pretty well as well. And the only thing where we haven't played is New York, but also the other teams have also not played in that. So you don't know how that wicket's going to play or not. So you never know what can happen if you win the toss. It might be one of that otherwise, but I do think it will be it'll be a good cricket wicket, and the stadium. It's going nicely, so I think it will be a really good experience for the people in New York to go out and watch.
Yes, is New York one of these drop-in pitches that's been prepared in Australia?
Yeah, I think there's a couple. So I think the Fort Lauderdale wicket will also be a drop-in, and then the New York one. So they've redone the whole square and outfield in Miami, in Fort Lauderdale, and then it's a complete, I think it's 5 or 6 drop-in wickets at the New York Stadium that went from Adelaide to Florida, where it was getting prepared, and then now it's getting shipped over or via truck over to New York.
It must be an exciting prospect playing against India in New York.
Unbelievable. I think there's probably the amount of Indians that live in New York is insane. So we definitely won't be they won't be cheering for us. But no, I think it'll be really awesome playing against them. It's and New York especially. It's good to be playing at a city that is reaching diversity, and it's reached that. It's just, if you think of America, you think of New York. So it's just really cool to be playing in that city.
I think they'll be noisy. That's a morning game, that one.
Yeah, it should be. Probably it will be pretty noisy. I think. Not sure how many seats are there, but it is sold out. So it's gonna be pretty noisy.
A bit scary, the global reach of that game.
Insane. I think if you do well, some people's lives can change in that game alone. So it's. I think for us, it's really exciting. For them, it's probably they're probably not sure always. I always felt if you play a not as good team, or you play a team that's below your standard, it's always difficult to manage once. It's always a slippery game, because the expectation of you is always to win as far as you can, but the other guys, they want to win just as badly, and they want to compete just as hard. So it's always a tough game. But yeah, I think it's going to be good. The Indian team is obviously an unbelievable team. So what an experience that will be.
Looking forward to facing Bumrah and Siraj then.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. You never know. Maybe they'll rest. No, it's good. We want to test ourselves against the best players in the world, and Bumrah is by far the best bowler in the world at the moment. So it's going to be exciting. I think that's what we've been dreaming about our whole lives as kids and as cricket players, is to be playing on the big stage against the best players in the world, and now we've got that opportunity to do that.
Well, you've also got Shaheen as well to face when you play Pakistan.
Yeah, him and Harris Rauf, and they've also got an unbelievable bowling attack. So they're just as good a side. So it's going to be really exciting to play these teams.
Will you be keeping wicket as well?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Obviously, the captain is a wicket keeper as well. So it probably depends on whether he wants to take the gloves or not.
You've got some warm-up games against Bangladesh as well.
Yeah, so that is a official series against Bangladesh. So starting on the 21st, 23rd, 25th, yeah, and then which is going to be really cool. They've become a really, really good side. So we're really looking forward to playing them. And then I think we've got two official World Cup games in Dallas, warm-up games in Dallas just after that. So that series will be played in Houston. So it won't be part of the World Cup warm-up games, but it's more official series.
But final preparations for that first game on the 1st of June.
Yeah. So hopefully that we can play some really good cricket going and get some momentum going in, and confidence going into that first game against Canada.
Yeah, it'll give you an idea of the standard when you're playing against a test playing nation.
Yeah, 100%. They are obviously, I think, when Alan Donald took over as the bowling coach a few years ago, he's changed that bowling lineup into a really formidable attack. And now the guy, I'm not sure who's taking over now from him, he's just went on and really they've become a serious bowling side as well. Their batting has always been pretty decent in T20 cricket. So their bowling attack has now really become a really good strength for their team.
Thanks for joining me on The Paddock and the Pavilion. Don't forget you can catch all our previous episodes on our YouTube channel, including our first World Cup pod with the Ugandan captain Brian Masaba. Let's return to Andries for his thoughts on the major teams at the World Cup and a look ahead to the second season of Major League Cricket. Now, aside from the United States, who's your tip for the tournament?
I think I would obviously love to. I think the South African team, they've been building on into the way they've been molded into a really good side at the moment. If you look at that top 7, top 6 batting lineup, it's world class players that's been doing well now for the last 4 years. They've been the top of their game. So I think if their bowling can click and if they bowl well, they can really be a good side to compete at the end. Obviously, India will always be there. I think Australia will be there. So yeah, and then somehow you can never count out New Zealand for some reason. They always perform well in World Cups.
And the defending champions, England.
Yeah, obviously they are very good. I think they probably have been struggling a little bit lately, but I think you can never write them off. They also got. The whole team is world class. So yeah, it's going to be, I think this is a World Cup where a lot of teams are really stacked and it's going to be really good to watch.
And after the World Cup, the finals on the 29th of June, on the 4th of July, we've got Major League Cricket for the second season. Are you again playing for the Washington Freedom? I guess so, with the shirt you got on.
Yeah, that's just the shirt. But yeah, now I'm playing again for the Washington Freedom team. Yeah, it's a quick turnaround to straight into Major League.
Well, after you've played in that World Cup final, you'll only have 5 days to prepare yourself.
You never know.
Did Major League Cricket 2023 come up to expectations?
I think it went beyond the expectation. I think it reached a global stage where people didn't know that it will reach. I think if you speak to all the the overseas pros that came over, they were really impressed about the standard of cricket that was played. They all love to come back, and I think if you hear people speak, they probably say this will become one of the biggest franchise tournaments in the world in the next few years.
Well, you're certainly attracting the stars of world cricket. Washington Freedom signed up Travis Head and Steve Smith.
Yeah, we signed a massive amount of people. No, we signed Steve Smith and Travis Head, and then we signed the big show Glenn Maxwell as well. And then the big up and coming star of New Zealand, Rachin Ravindra, we've got him in our team as well. And then we kept Marco Jansen and Akil Hussain, which both are world class. And then we signed Lockie Ferguson as well. So we've got a pretty good side this year to compete. And then obviously we've got the big Ricky Ponting as our head coach. So that's going to be really cool.
Yeah, you've certainly got some stars there. How many overseas players are you allowed to play in an 11?
You're allowed to play 6.
But the competition is really attracting the major stars of world cricket, though.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both. There's two things probably. People they've never played cricket in America, and America is not one thing that where cricket takes you normally. So it's probably one tournament you want to play in that you can see a little bit of America. And then secondly, I think it's they're getting paid a lot of money for not a long tournament. Other tournaments, it's a double round robin games, or it's over a month and a half. This is maybe just 3 weeks or 3.5 weeks, so it's a little bit shorter time frame. And the money is almost the same as what they're getting for other tournaments. So I think it's a nice tournament for them to not play a lot of games, but still get paid what they deserve. And
the pitches played well last year?
Yeah, pretty well. The Dallas wicket played really well. I think it was basically the first game of the Major League, was the first ball ever bowled on that wicket, and it really performed well. So you got to take your hat off to Dave Ackney, the curator. Yeah, he's done really well. And then the Morrisville wicket also played pretty well. We thought it wasn't going to play that well, but it actually the scores ended up being pretty high. So yeah, I think both the stadiums were really good. I think this year will be even better.
Is it the same 2 venues this year?
I'm not sure yet. They haven't officially announced that fixtures and stuff yet.
Crowd-wise, it was popular.
Yeah, so the Morrisville Stadium, it didn't hold a lot of people, maybe 5,000, but that was sold out every day. And then the Dallas Stadium was mostly, obviously in July in Dallas, it gets almost to 50 degrees, so it's pretty hot out there. And so the day games was really hot, and then the night games, every night game was sold out. So, and I'm guessing it'll be even more sold out. All the games will pretty much be sold out this year. The cricketing community just keeps growing here in America, and I think a lot of people are flying now, from all over the country, just to come and watch these games.
That's a good point. Are you seeing more interest in cricket with boys and girls also in the game? Yeah,
I think if you speak to the academy guys and the operators, there's so many academies here. Just in Dallas alone, there's almost 15 academies, which is ridiculous. But the numbers just keeps on growing and growing. I don't think they've not made the move to try and get the American kids. Most of the kids are still Southeast Asians, whether they're born here or just moved here because their parents got to work here. But I don't think the American market hasn't been tapped in yet. But I think at this stage, it's so big at this moment. There's no need for it. But eventually, I assume that cricket will become a university sport, and once that is happening, then cricket will move very quickly into a bigger direction.
Is that a key to it, getting it on the university sort of curriculum?
Yeah, so everything in America is about college sports. If you look at college football and college baseball, everything is it's massive, getting big scholarships and things like that. So once you can get cricket into colleges, that will be a massive turnover for cricket in this country.
Well, the World Cup should be a massive boost with it being on TV and worldwide coverage.
Yeah, I hope so. I really hope so. And with the Washington Freedom team, they are building a cricket stadium at one of the university grounds, which will be a cricket and a baseball facility together. So there's already one place where cricket is going into the college market as well.
Well, that's good to hear if the game of cricket is spreading around the world and in America. The very best of luck in the World Cup. Look forward to facing Jasprit Bumrah and Shaheen Shah Afridi. And also the best of luck for the second season at Major League Cricket with the Washington Freedom.
Yeah, thank you, Stephen. I appreciate it.
Sports Social Podcast Network.